Welcome, everybody, to Here to Help You.
Here to help you.
Today's an interesting show.
Yes, definitely it is.
You know what? I'm going to take this time to introduce my special guest today.
Special?
Yeah, man.
How special? Special?
Master teacher.
No, I wouldn't even give myself that title, but thank you very much as well.
Master teacher Dave Rankin.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Rankin, before we jump into our topic today,
Yes.
I want you to tell people why you're a master teacher.
I'm not a master teacher. So we can stop there.
Okay. And where do you teach? Because you know what? You do have something coming up.
Right.
This is a good introduction to how you teach and what you teach.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about your teaching, I guess, experience. And yeah, of course, your teaching experience.
Right.
And what you teach now.
Okay.
And where you teach now.
Okay, thank you. So my experience, I teach more adults than children. Although probably now it's a lot more even keeled, considering that of course we both now tutor children.
Yes.
Right. I have a teacher's effectiveness course, in teaching adults. I can curriculum write as well, which I haven't done in years, but I definitely still have
something you can do.
Exactly, it's part of my background.
Good.
In far goes in regards to like my specialties or my areas of study, African history and spirituality.
Okay.
Right. We started off at Knowledge Bookstore. When I say we, Brother Shaduzi and I.
That's right.
Right. We took over our teacher's class, Brother Derek Williams, at that point in time. Our series was more of a demystifying the Bible. We also have a lecture series on white supremacy, racism, where we look at Neely Fuller's work. We're looking at breaking down white supremacy and racism into 9 different areas. So education, law, politics, so on and so forth. Right. Currently, we teach at the York Gate Mall, the Spot Youth Center in Jane and Finch.
That's right.
Our classes are the last Sunday of every month. So by means, this coming Sunday.
This Sunday is the last Sunday.
It's the last Sunday, 11:30 through to 1:30. This week's is going to be an interesting class. Brother Shaduzi is taking this one over.
Oh, so you're not teaching this week?
I'm helping. I'm always assisting in research. So by means, of course, when he teaches, I teach as well. But
so this is exactly why, because when he says assist, he means sit in the background and say nothing.
No,
so,
not at all. Not at all.
So today I tricked him. And I made sure that we can hear your voice because he's being modest. Mr. Rankin is actually he's a very effective teacher.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell people a little bit about what you've done. He's actually one of the first mentors, tutors that I have working with me who has broken into multiple cultures.
Yes.
He's actually broken into the East Indian culture, and if anyone knows about the East Indian culture, they don't just let any and anybody come in and teach their children.
True. Very true.
Okay?
Yes.
So he's been working with one of our students for about a year now.
Close, yes.
And I definitely say it's probably one of his favorite students.
Yes.
And you get along very well with the family.
Oh, definitely. They treat me well.
Okay. So don't ever discredit yourself, young man. You are a great teacher.
Oh, thank you very much
so
for the compliment.
let's go right in today because I've been broadcasting or kind of promoting what we're talking about.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand the importance of superheroes.
It's true.
I don't even understand fully the importance. I know the superheroes, but I don't understand the importance, not just of superheroes, but of African superheroes.
Yes.
So I know you have a lot to cover today. So let's go into exactly what you're going to be talking about.
No worries.
And today I'll be assisting you.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right. The bulk of my work came from these 2 works here. We'll start off with this one here, Super Black by, you're going to have to read.
I'll read it for you. Super Black by Adelifu Nama.
Yes, Adelifu Nama. He's a professor out in California. But definitely wonderful book to get into, especially when you're looking at now some of the things that we're looking at today regarding pop culture and how that's been infused, of course, within the characters, their of course the makeup, their social backup, so on and so forth, right?
Okay.
Also, another good book to get into, Black comics. This one's a few people believe that had a hand in writing this one here.
So this is edited by Sheena C. Howard and Ronald L. Jackson II.
Yeah, they're written like essays in regards to now, of course, the earliest set of comics, which had us as Black people in them, right? From news strips to, of course, magazines, so on and so forth, to all the way now, of course, including the superheroes, some politics involved regarding that as well, stereotyping of images, so on and so forth. Once again, wonderful books to get into, especially now if you're looking to now add to your library, and learn a new few things regarding superheroes as well.
Let's get into it.
Let's get
Teach me. I should have brought like paper.
A paper?
Yeah, and a
Like
pen
what?
to take notes.
No problem.
But it's okay. I'll just steal your notes after.
It's recording, so
That's right. I can just listen to it after.
there we go. So we can start with Black Panther. Of course, King T'Challa from the country of Wakanda.
Wakanda.
Yes. When we're looking at now how Wakanda came to be, you're looking now at a meteorite coming down from outer space, which contained this metal called vibranium, right? And that now allowed them to go ahead and have the technological advancement of their society, which now, of course, every other society, of course, the West wants a piece of this vibranium, right? Now, of course, within Super Black, right, the author states that without a doubt, Black Panther and as well as Wakanda offered unprecedented upbeat images of Africa and as well as African people. Now, of course, considering that it was first originated in 1966, the first issue where Black Panther appeared was in Fantastic Four, right? He lured them, of course, to Wakanda. They end up having a test, so to speak, to find out actually how strong they are and so on and so forth. And he realizes, you know what? They're great allies. Let's go ahead and join up, right? From there now, of course, I'm looking at now Black Panther expanding now on his own series. Some of the images you see there from before, the Jungle Action series where Black Panther fights the KKK, right, which is very interesting.
Okay.
Right. So during that time frame, of course, during the 70s, now we're looking at now, of course, the social upheaval, of course, a lot of unrest happening in America at that point in time. And not just America, but of course, filtering all over the world as well. Right. So, of course, now the KKK being a prominent figure, why not go ahead and throw this black man in the mix, of course, to fight for social justice at that point.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Although it did take away in regards to now the futuristic sense of the Black Panther and what Wakanda had to offer. This series, the Jungle Action series, only lasted for about 4 years. And then the legendary Jack Kirby took this over. Jack Kirby now, he's with your friend, Stan Lee.
I like Stan Lee.
Yes.
A lot.
I know you do.
He's in all of his movies.
Yes, he is.
He's doing his little cameos.
Of course. They've been legendary team. Of course, Spider-Man, they teamed up on. But Black Panther, he took it over during the mid to late 70s. And now you see more of a sense of now the futuristic sense coming back now, where he's fighting not just the evil clans, within Wakanda and surrounding, but of course using new technology and so on and so forth, right? It later, of course, transitioned off where now during the stories, he vacates to New York at one point in time. He teams up with other superheroes as well.
The Avengers.
The Avengers is one.
Yay.
Luke Cage, he teams up with
Luke
at one
Cage.
point. Right. Brother Voodoo is another one that he teams up with as well.
Brother Voodoo.
Yes, which we'll definitely go into them at some point in time.
I like all these names. I want to talk about Brother Voodoo.
Brother Voodoo.
He sounds very interesting.
Yes, he does, and we'll make some time for him.
Okay,
all
good.
Right. One interesting thing that a lot of people don't know or may not know, we know that during the stories, Black Panther was once married to Storm.
Ooh, romance, gossip.
Yes.
Go on with it.
Thank you.
Drama.
Right. However, his first engagement was to an American supermodel named Monica Lynn.
I didn't know that.
That's something.
I like Storm better.
Of course, she's more out there.
Yes.
Right? Yes, and by means, she represents a whole lot for women.
Yes, she does. Isn't she supposed to be? When it comes to spirituality, I know they put Storm in. Is it Oya?
Quite possibly Oya.
Oya together, I think. Change
right?
And the control of the elements
right.
and the control of water. I could be wrong. That could be Oba, but I don't know.
Right, but and in a lot of ways, you can look at now with Storm as her tapping within herself.
Yes.
Right. To tap, of course, to be connected to the universe, right? And the elements within the universe, and be able to go ahead and bring about change.
Yes.
Right. So that's something that could be looked at about regarding Storm's character. But Monica Lynn, by means, you'll find this very early in the early stages of Black Panther's, I guess, tenureship, that is, right? You can find her definitely in some of the titles called Panther's Prey, Panther's Quest, so on and so forth. Those were more late 80s, early 90s. You see the style of the
I like
drawing.
that Black Panther. Sorry to interrupt, but I like that back. Was Monica Lynn African?
Yes. Well, she's American, right? But still, yes.
African.
Yes.
Okay, so
go.
both of his wives, can I say wives? Or his partners?
The partners, yes. Partners.
Are both African.
Yes.
I like that.
Right. They don't go through the marriage only because, of course, with him being a superhero, she getting caught in the middle just didn't work out.
Okay.
Right. So that's why first engagement, then later on, of course, with the marriage of Storm.
Boo. So being equally yoked because Storm's a superhero.
There we go.
And he's
right.
Being equally yoked.
Equally yoked.
It's very important.
Yes, very, very important. Right. We'll find a transition regarding the mantle from T'Challa to his sister Shuri.
Shuri.
Yes.
Do we have pictures of Shuri?
I think we do have some pictures. Hopefully she'll go ahead and Chelsea will go ahead and do us the favor.
Chelsea.
And show us a few pictures.
Shuri.
Right. That picture right there, that's the first time she appears. You're looking at during like the Doom Wars, Dr. Doom. So he wants the vibranium too, right?
Everyone wants the vibranium.
Of course, I know. Right. So what happens is that they end up now, there's a battle. T'Challa gets caught in a crossfire and he gets seriously hurt. So there's no one else to go ahead and be on the throne.
So the sister got to step up.
The sister has to step up.
What? Go on.
Right? So, of course, with her trials and tribulations, now she goes to the Panther trials. At first, she speaks to the Panther God. The Panther God does not give her the powers.
Why not?
Because he feels that she's very selfish and she needs to earn the powers.
Okay.
Right? Keep in mind this, right? For anybody who knows the Black Panther series, right? She's always wanted the throne.
That's true.
Right? So, with that being said, of course, selfishness.
Yes, it's
right.
not an honorable reason for her wanting the throne.
Wanting the throne.
Okay.
Right. However, though, during laters, of course, within the series, she defeats this evil entity, of course, with no superpowers whatsoever. But the Panther God realizes, you know what, you're definitely worthy of the powers. Gives it to her, and by means, that's what you have there as a picture.
Well, on the throne.
Yes.
Is she on the throne? Because I can't see. It's okay. She's not on the throne.
She
She looks wicked, though.
She does, doesn't she?
It's a good picture of her. Shoot.
Definitely it is. For anybody more interested in, of course, reading more Shuri's, adventures, Claws of the Panther, right, and as well as the Doom Wars are excellent titles.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's just Black Panther. We have some more to do.
That's just Black Panther.
So we've discussed today. We are talking about about African superheroes and the importance of them and why they symbolize more than just make believe.
Of course.
For a lot of us.
Oh, definitely.
When we come back, we'll be looking more at some more of the heroes you have because you have quite a few. You have like a list.
We got a few.
But we're gonna go through what we can, and we've already decided that if we can't finish it today, we're gonna have like a 2-part series.
This is something that can go on and on.
And we can continue with this. We'll be right back.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back. I was just yelling at Brother Dave here because, well, I'm going to let you go on to your next superhero, but I'm going to call you out on something.
You're going to call me out on something?
Yes, I'm going to call you out on something. Not right now.
No, tell me now, please.
No.
Tell me. Go ahead, tell me. The viewers want to know. Go ahead.
I want to know, where are the female? Because I see your list here, and I'm seeing beer man on your list.
Be patient. There are females in my list.
Okay, but can we hear about one sooner than later?
Yes, we'll definitely
Is the show
hear.
going to end and then we're not going to hear about no females?
Would you like to show the Ed before we go ahead and display a few female titles?
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, no
I'll
problem.
let you teach.
Thank you so
Go
much.
ahead, master teacher.
Not a master teacher. Green Lantern. In this case, Brother John Stewart. Former U.S. Marine, first appeared in the Green Arrow and the Green Lantern series of 1972. Right. During this time frame, in fact, this series was probably a lot more provocative when dealing with race issues.
Okay.
Right. Of course, you're looking at Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner as being two former, and of course, Anglo-Saxon Green Lanterns. And now you have, of course, the Black Lantern, as he liked to call himself, John Stewart. Right. How we end up getting the actual mantle was this. Was it Hal? Sorry, Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner.
Okay. Too many G's. I tell you. He gets injured, right? And now they need somebody now to go ahead and fill the lantern. So normally the guardians of the universe, these are some old and wise men who are in the heavens somewhere, right? Beyond the clouds and the cosmos. So they end up choosing, of course, John Stewart, of course, because of his good heart and good natured, right? Not knowing that, of course, you know what, that during the time, once again, during the 70s, we're looking at the social and political climate of the day. There we see some pictures regarding Green Lantern fighting the KKK, which we'll get to in a moment.
Oh, so Black Panther and Green Lantern,
they also
both
fight the KKK. Yes.
Okay.
Right. So we're looking at the 70s once again, where once again we're looking at now the cultural shift. Right, the civil rights movement of the 60s, of course, the Black Panther movement of the 60s, that transitioning into the 70s, right, as well. So, of course, we got a lot of angry black folk at that point, quote unquote black folk, right? Because simply social injustice, right? So now here we have the Black Lantern, right, and the original Lantern says, you know what, I think you're way too angry of a man to go ahead now, right, and carry the ring as a mantle.
Okay.
Right? Because, of course, you know, once again, he's quite cocky in the stories, right? There's one point in time where he puts on the uniform, but he doesn't wear a mask. He says that, you know what, the black man lets everything hang out, so he does away with the mask. He doesn't need to wear one.
Bonafide upon mask, yeah?
See, right? And you can also see that now in the Justice League, right? Where Green Lantern doesn't wear a mask. Later on, you see the coloring of the eyes, right? But once again, no mask, right? And so, how Green Lantern, or in this case, John Stewart, gets the respect of Hal Jordan is this: his first mission was to protect a racial bigot, an Anglo-Saxon who was very racial. Yes, right. So they don't put him out in, you know, and of course, fighting some monster or fighting some galactic,
Someone
entity.
Very human.
Yes, very, right.
Okay, or inhuman.
In this case, right?
Okay.
There's an attempt on the gentleman's life, supposedly by a black person, right? Later on, they come to find out, of course, this was all to start a racial riot. So now, with John Stewart having to do the right thing, protects this gentleman, right? Stops the riot, and now gains of course, the respect of Hal Jordan.
Okay.
Right, which is very interesting considering that, once again, this guy has all the power in the world now, right? And Green Lantern now, of course, anybody who follows the series, it's very futuristic, very sci-fi like. But he's on Earth, of course, and he needs to stop, or at least protect this gentleman from, of course, a racial riot taking place.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right, so in 84 through 86, you have more of his titles taking place, where he now headlines. We've seen some of the covers for the Mosaic series, where you find more of the sci-fi or futuristic sense or titles now coming back into play. Of course, we see now where he fights the KKK in 2 issues, right? But by means, what is very rare regarding his character also is that romance, right? During his early career, where he's just learning how to go there and the inner makings of the ring and how this works and so on and so forth, there is a lady by the name of Katma Lu. I hope I'm saying her name right. But if she's an alien, she helps him, of course, with learning the powers and so on and so forth, right? They fall in love, they end up getting married, and I believe they end up having a child at some point.
Okay, with
right?
an alien.
Half. Don't quote me. I don't remember if this is child or not. However, though, right? What's interesting is cool dog.
I don't know if it's mine. You need one more.
Really, right?
Anyhow,
really?
I'll stop.
A jacket?
I'll stop. Continue.
Thank you. Right? That's not his only romance in the comic books. Hot girl.
What hot girl?
Hot
She
girl.
hot?
Only you.
I mean hot. Hot like as in her body was banging?
Hawk. As in
hawk.
like hawk. As
in
animal.
flying.
Flying, that's right.
All right, make
Yes,
it no.
hot girl and as well as vixen.
So how many girls does this man have, guy?
Well, you know.
Sounds very typical of a black man. I'm just saying.
Really?
I'm just saying. 3-4 girls with all that power.
All that power, that's right, huh? Well, you know, power.
We will just give it up for some power, though, don't we? I'm being terrible. I'll stop.
You know, the mantle of the Green Lantern comes with a few things.
I feel this. I hear him.
For sure. So, regarding these the three characters, because we looked at, of course, Black Panther, T'Challa, his sister Shuri, and as well as Green Lantern. We now hear the Afro-futuristic as a title, which is now floating around, of course, amongst our people, especially the younger people now, where we have a lot of artists, cartoonists, painters, you name it, right? Have this, they have this utopian. Let's use utopian because, in a sense, this Afro-futuristic, timeline or world where, just like Wakanda, flying spaceships, there's a lot more autonomy in regards to us as a people, right? A lot of cooler outfits and so on and so forth, right? So anybody looking for a little more history in that, of course, the Afro-futuristic sense, definitely Green Lantern
is for you.
And Black Panther as well.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Who are we going to look at now? So we got Green Lantern, who's a womanizer. He's a typical African man. We have Mr. Black Panther from Wakanda. And Shuri, his sister,
right?
Who's deading for power.
Okay. Right, but I mean, she does go about it in the correct way, right?
Finally.
Right. Well, eventually, right?
We always have to fight harder for it, don't we, women?
Well, keep in mind this as well, right? Regardless of sex, we have to look at inside, and a lot of the superheroes definitely their power within, right? A lot of the issues that they have to go through, of course, they battle with themselves
first.
Exactly, right? Because I mean, you're fighting, of course, these deadly villains on a daily basis, you know, which either not only cause threat to your people, or right, looking at countries, worlds, so on and so forth. So sometimes they have to dig real deep, right, and not end up. Well, in some levels, not end up acting like a supervillain.
Because it's very easy when you have power.
Exactly.
That power can go either way.
True.
It can either be used for good, or for used for evil.
There we go.
Okay.
Right. Next on our list, a gentleman by the name of Black Lightning.
What?
Yes.
So there's, hold on.
Go ahead.
Black Panther.
Yes.
Green Lantern.
Right.
Black Lightning.
All
right.
This is DC Comics, the Superman, right? And Justice League, right? This is their first black superhero.
Woohoo!
Right. First appearance in 1977. However, though, I believe he may have made more of a guest appearance probably late in the late 60s, if not early 70s. But from what I know, 1977 in April. First black superhero in DC Comics, as we found out. Now, his story is a little bit interesting. Jefferson Pierce is his name. He's a former Olympic athlete, a teacher as well. So now we find somebody now who's fought himself out of the ghetto, right? Has a respectable position, right? Successful, right? And that
sounds like you.
Does it?
Kind of. I'm just saying, you're a teacher.
Okay.
You is successful.
Thank you.
You're from the hood.
Thank you.
There was another one. Yeah, something else.
Oh, we'll get to that.
He was an athlete, and from what I hear, you can play some ball.
Used to.
All right.
Used to. I'm far removed from my ball playing days.
Black Lightning, go on with it.
Black Lightning. That one right there. His arch nemesis, a white fish-headed gentleman. His name is, where is his name? Tobias Whale.
That's a serious name. Tobias
Whale.
Wow.
That's the gentleman's name in the back there with the red suit.
Yo?
That's right, Tobias Whale.
It's a very strong name.
Very. So you can tell where the writers are coming from at that point in
Yeah,
time.
man.
right?
Tobias.
Yes.
Serious things. Okay.
So now, if we're looking now, for instance,
Why is Black Lightning getting knocked out?
well,
It's a really bad picture. Just saying.
no, but
Sorry.
hey, you know, they need to sell issues, right?
I guess so.
For sure. That one there is part of the last series where him and Power Man or Luke Cage,
Luke Cage.
yes, just team up. There's another one. I don't believe this one actually was released, but I know they did some prints called the Super Team Family, which either A, did not get out. Some of them came out. However, though, that was an excellent picture. There's another one in there where they fight.
Luke Cage and him fight?
Luke Cage and Black Lightning, they
Why
fight.
they be fighting for?
You know what I'm saying? Like, black people can't get along.
Can't just get along?
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all have superpowers. You guys can't even work together?
Hey, man.
Sounds very similar
Yes,
to today, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Hmm.
Doesn't it?
Hmm.
No, but we're laughing, but it's important that we understand the reason we're talking about this today is because a lot of this is relevant in our day-to-day.
Of course.
We sometimes just see comic book heroes as just being fantasy.
Right.
But a lot of this is written from reality.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Because, you know,
Okay.
art does imitate life.
That was what you said. I was trying to think of what you said. I was trying to be all skilled and say it, and I forgot what it was.
Well, at least you got it now.
So art imitates life.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, of course, continuing with that theme, we have a gentleman now here who wants to go ahead now and fight drugs and crime within his neighborhood. And it so happens that the neighborhood ended up being the same neighborhood as where Superman and the Daily Bugle ends up happening to be. Right? So some of the actual titles, you can see where Black Lightning is in trouble and they're wondering if Superman's going to come to the rescue or not. Right? So by means, you can see that relationship there. Right. He was offered a position within the Justice League at one point. During the 70s, that series, he rejects it and actually goes off on his own because he didn't want to be token.
Oh, he didn't want to be the token black guy.
See, there you go. Right. Especially the racial counterparts.
Okay.
Right. Which is a theme that I found in a lot of the comic book heroes. We're going to notice that in another hero once we get to later on in the show.
Okay.
But by means, he rejects it. He joins up with some other, of course, superheroes. And now you see him as, a guest appearance within Justice League or any other title which is out there.
Okay. I'm learning today. I hope you guys are taking notes. This is actually I'm learning some stuff. It's kind of commonplace, but we'll get back to that in a minute.
Okay, cool.
We'll be right back in a few moments.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Welcome back, everybody.
We're back, huh?
I was on my fools just on the commercial break.
Yes, she was.
If you are just joining us, we are here talking about Tobias, which is a very strong name. I've decided on a name for my son now.
Which is?
Tobias Lindsay Smith III.
Lindsay Smith III.
That's it.
So there were two others before?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just to know.
If you're just joining us, we are talking today about African superheroes and the importance of them past, present, and the future.
And future, yes.
Okay? So I'm going to go through the list because I've got to make sure I do this right. So we have Black Panther,
right,
who is gangsta, and he has sister Shuri.
Yes.
Then we have Green Lantern.
Which one?
Who has Nuff Gal.
What's his name?
John
Come on,
Stewart.
There you go.
Yes.
You're paying attention.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then we have Black Lightning.
Uh-huh.
who doesn't want to be token. So he's like Bonafire on Justice League. I ain't joining y'all just so I can just be there.
For real.
Nah, he wasn't about it.
Nah, not whatsoever.
And then he fought Tobias.
Tobias
and in the
Whale.
picture they showed, it was very bad because he was getting knocked the hell out by Tobias.
He was.
So we're gonna have to find a better picture next time, Dave. But it's okay. So let's move on because I want to hear more. I know these superheroes, but I've never known the impact that they have and what they're about. So
Right.
I just know I would never ever date Green Lantern.
Green Lantern? No,
Never.
Too much gal.
Too much gal, guy. Can't be bothered with all of that still. Anyhow.
All right, let's get to some women.
Finally.
Nubia. Your girl,
Nubia, my girl.
Yes.
Love me some Nubia.
There you go. For those who don't know Nubia, her first appearance was in Wonder Woman of 1973. Here's her history. So their mother, Queen Hippolyta. I hope I am saying that right.
You probably said it wrong.
Probably said it wrong anyways.
It's okay.
Okay, cool. Well, she watched children. And of course, being, on the Amazon where there are no men, right?
How's she gonna breed?
Well, here's how. Breed? Really?
Sorry. Sorry. Continue.
All right. So she ends up carving two figures out of clay. One white, one black. Right? She consults with the goddess Aphrodite, right? Who actually magically turns these figures to whole. Right? And there we see, of course, the cover between her and her twin sister.
That's cool.
Yes.
So Wonder Woman has a twin.
Not just any twin, but a black woman.
A black woman who's her twin.
Her twin sister. So everybody out there who's talking about equal pay, right? Regarding, of course, the genre for men and women, and in regards to coverage, right? Here we got a sister now, right? That was kidnapped at birth by an evil god, Mars. Right? So
Mars?
Now Mars, yes. So now she has no identity regarding her rightful birthplace. All she now knows is that, yes, I'm under the tutelage of this man and I'm doing everything evil because, of course, he's evil.
So hold on.
Mm-hmm.
How did the moms end up having her one pick-me? And it had to be the African girl who gets teeth off.
He gets kidnapped, right?
And I've noticed, until you started educating me on this, I didn't know about no Nubia. I'm just here thinking about Wonder Woman, and she was always European. I've never seen Nubia.
And Wonder Woman is probably the most centralized figure that a lot of women associate with. So could you imagine now the twin sister, the good twin sister, during the time of, once again, the 70s, transitioning into the 80s and the 90s, right to, of course, our present time now?
Wasn't she evil, though? Wasn't she seen as the evil twin?
She was seen as the evil twin. So once again, we have, of course, the stereotype black being evil.
And, yes, white being godly and righteous.
There we go. Of course.
Clean.
However, though, what kills me, what adds to this, the fuel to the fire is now we have the backdrop now, of course, of a people, in this case, the black woman being kidnapped from a rightful home.
Again, spoiler alert.
Okay.
I don't know. This sounds very familiar.
Right? We're kidnapped from a rightful home, right? Only to return back to reclaim what is hers.
Hold on. What is the cultural background of Mars?
Are you referring to European? Because
this is what I'm asking.
Yes, they are European. Yes, definitely European. So of course, kidnapped by the European.
Just saying.
You're just saying. But it has everything to it, though, right?
Jokes aside.
All jokes aside, it has everything to it, right? And once again, if we're looking at images and strong image types, right? Here's the twin sister of Wonder Woman, right? Who at some point in time could have been a trailblazer for our people as well, right? You can imagine the countless and amounts of black girls, young black women, that could have dressed up as Nubia. Right? And instead, and I'm sure y'all can YouTube it, you have this commercial, a very old commercial where they created a Nubia action figure. But once again, she's portrayed as the evil
sister.
There you go, right? So, I mean, it's amazing how, once again, art imitates life. Right, and of course you also see this now. Of course, the kidnapping, the enslavement in this case, right? And of course now the hope is that we end up returning back to our rightful people, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Newbie.
Welcome back.
See, I just shortened her name like I know her personally.
Like you know her personally. All right, continuing on with the women, Vixen, aka Mary McCabe. Marie McCabe.
I like this girl.
Yes.
She's hot.
Yes, she is. She is definitely
Vixen
very
is
curvaceous
hot.
figure. 1981. That's from the Action Comics. Action Comics. You're looking at Superman. Same title as Superman. Here's her story. Ancient Ghana, there was a warrior named Tantu who asked Nancy the spider to make a totem. So you see that necklace piece that's around
her neck. Yes.
Well, it's a totem where, of course, it links to our animal powers. So elephants, of course, flying as an eagle.
And she can call on these strengths.
Exactly.
Okay.
Once again, tapping within.
Tapping within.
Right, in order, of course, to portray without. Right?
Excellent.
So during this time frame, right, Tantu, of course, he has the totem. He dies, they end up passing on to, of course, her parents. Right. Her father definitely teaches her about it, but it's more of her mother who teaches her, or in this case, Mary, about the totem, the significance, and more importantly, its importance within the family heirloom, right? Or family tree, that is. Right. Mary's mother gets killed by poachers, right? And she ends up being raised by her father. Her father also gets killed, right? So now, of course, she's on her own.
Now she's an orphan.
Exactly.
Okay.
Travels to the U.S., becomes, of course, a model, ends up learning now more information about her parents passing. And, of course, a theme which has plagued us throughout the years is, of course, is the wanting of power. Especially now the wanting of power between our own people. Comes to find out that the father's half-brother end up killing the father because he wanted
the power.
There you go. Right? So she returns home by means, of course, Avengers. Right? That last picture we had was a picture of a later series titled The Return of the Lion, which is an excellent series. She goes through a hero's journey, so to speak. Deadly fight, which leaves her almost powerless. Right? She comes out of the tutelage of an African shaman, right, who tells her, hey, listen, you know what? You can draw upon these powers without even having the totem. But once again, she needs to search within. Right? So it's a common theme there as well, right? So she searches within by means of force, taps into those powers, and, and makes for a great story.
It's cool.
Yes.
I'm trying to find myself in one of these superheroes.
You are?
Kind of.
Kind of? Mm-hmm. So far, who do you recognize? Or who do you...
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern?
Still.
Really? And of all people, Green Lantern?
Green Lantern's a pimp, yo. Anyhow.
Ooh, for real. Right, so I mean, like, once again, another backdrop, which there have been some common arguments. The way the female characters have been drawn, very hyposexual, so to speak.
I was going to say
they're very voluptuous,
very much so.
The curvaceous,
but
right?
Are we not though?
Yes, and by means, we thank our women for, of course, for being vivacious and curvaceous and so on and so forth.
And vixens.
And by means, having the outfit which, of course, accentuates these figures.
Vixen type curvatures.
Very nice.
I know.
Nice.
I'm getting
nice.
better, man.
There you go.
That's crazy, though. But yes, what you were saying about the fact of how they drew them. Talk about that.
Right.
About how these women were drawn.
You find that, of course, with a lot of let's go with the female Anglo-Saxon female counterparts. They also were drawn, of course, very curvaceous.
Yes.
Right. Very, I guess, revealing outfits.
Always. These girls are never wearing gear.
Never wearing
clothes. Always in panty. Always. Like, walk around in panty. Who does that?
True. But,
it's not Caravana. Seriously.
It also appeals, of course, to the audience as well, right? Which
sex sells.
A lot of the audience happens to be men. Right?
Yeah.
Young men, right?
Who are just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, honestly, true things. How many people out there fell in love with a superhero? Heroine. How many? I know you people, anyone who watches this, don't play it off. You can keep it to yourselves, pretend. But I think everyone had one heroine there just like, what?
Yeah, for sure.
Telling you, I know.
For sure.
Who's yours?
Mine, Nubia, definitely.
It's Nubia, yeah?
Nubia, when I found out, I just ended up researching a little bit more, finding more pictures and finding out, wow, like, aside from her being drawn she's an attractive figure, attractive heroine, right? But her stories are very complex no matter what she had to do.
Okay.
Right. Of course, overcoming, of course, the torture, the enslavement in this case, right?
She was enslaved too?
She was enslaved, well, by means being kidnapped, right?
Okay.
Right. There was some sort of mind control in the comics at that point in time as well. So of course, her and doing, of course, those evil bidding, you know, her as well as now returning home, right? Finding herself, right? You know, and now by means understanding that, you know, she had a twin.
Does she have a good relationship with Wonder Woman?
She does develop a good relationship with Wonder Woman.
So that happens over time.
So it happens over time.
Okay.
Right. And in fact, they fight in the comic books. And what saves Wonder Woman, Diana, right, is the fact that, okay, so we know that Diana has the golden lasso, right, which compels everybody to tell the truth. Yeah, right. Man. But Diana also has.
I had that, you see?
A lot of women do.
Oh
right?
my gosh. You have no idea how. I would just use it for no reason. Just lassoing people. So before I ask you this question, let me just lasso you one time. Right? Now respond.
Tell you, right? But she also has a sword, right? And this sword is only now to be used against those of evil, right? Nubia has a sword, right?
What's Nubia's sword do?
Well, same thing.
Okay.
Right? Only in, of course, in this case, the face of evil, right at that point, during the battle.
Should have been machete.
Could have been, yes.
Should have been.
Could have been.
It made sense.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, I think she's Jamaican.
You think so?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll leave it there.
I'm just trying to make things up as I go along here.
Thank you.
But so her sword made people tell the truth? So she just joked them in their side and they had to tell the truth?
Not come on, no, that's very violent to tell the truth. But remember, her sword was used to go in and fight evil. So during the battle, she defeats Wonder Woman, and of course, in the event of killing her, raises the sword, but the sword would not allow her to slay Wonder Woman. And this is where now their memory kicks in for Wonder Woman. Of course, her mother now realizes, wait, this is my long lost daughter, right? And of course, their relationship forms from there.
Okay. Learning more.
Yes.
So when we come back, we're going to finish up with a few more, but I hope this has been entertaining for you. It has been for me. I've actually learned a bit. And I hope you guys are starting to see the parallels between art and life. See you soon.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Welcome back. So we just finished talking about the fact that Vixen wears no clothing.
Nothing whatsoever.
But we're happy because her body's hot. So
I love which some of us aspire to.
What? Her body, like, honestly, no women, I swear, I look at some of these comic book heroes and I'm like,
yeah,
how can I look like you? Like, I'm going to try my hardest. How many squats do I have to do?
And how many sit-ups?
And how many sit-ups? And, like, you know, how do I make my shoulders shine? You know? Like, how do you do this? I'm very impressed.
Well, keep in mind, you know, because of course they got infused with some sort of like supernatural power, right? So of course the development of muscle takes place, right? Or sometimes an experiment which goes wrong by means, and of course their DNA just happens to accept
make their bodies just, they have bumper.
They have
and
everything.
Enough breasts.
Everything.
Guy, can I get hit by a meteorite, please?
No, please don't.
Change my whole scope. We wouldn't even need plastic surgery. We just need a whole bunch of meteor showers.
A whole bunch of meteor showers.
And all these girls would just be like bloop, 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 everywhere.
Or an experiment gone around like Lucas Cage.
Luke Cage. Are we talking about him right now?
Yes, we are.
Yay!
Carl Lucas, a.k.a. Luke Cage.
I like Luke Cage.
A.k.a. Power Man. First appeared in 1972, issue called Hero for Hire. Now, keep in mind this. When we're looking at art imitates life, I don't think anything gets more realer than Luke Cage's story.
Luke Cage!
Yes.
Sorry. I just like saying it like that.
Yes, she does it all the time. Wrongfully convicted of a crime, so he gets sent to prison.
Pause.
I know. Right?
Continue.
Okay. Right? He ends up going into prison torture tactics. And what I mean by that is this. A character named Shades wants him to go ahead and join his organization in prison. He declines. He gets beat up. Not only does that, but there's also a prison guard by the name of Captain Rackham. He wants him to be, of course, snitch. He declines. He gets beat up, right? So by means, of course,
Luke.
torture tactics, right, which happen to take place within the prison.
Oh, boy.
Right? So by means, you can imagine the countless of our brothers and sisters who are inside being tortured on a daily basis, regardless or not if they've been either rightfully convicted or wrongfully convicted. Right? So you can see where art imitates life in this sense. Right? We can see on the left hand side there, maybe my right on the screen, the hero for hire. That's the first issue. In the middle, we have him teaming up with Iron Fist, which you will see during the Netflix series with the Defenders, right? With Jessica Jones and as well as Daredevil. In the bottom right hand corner, you can see Misty Knight, a very small glimpse of Misty Knight in the corner. Yes, which we'll slowly get to in a moment.
Luke Cage.
Of course, and by means Iron Fist at the end there. Luke Cage, yes. Right?
I'm sorry.
Right, but it's very reminiscent now, of course, now you look at Eldridge Cleaver with his prison letters. Right, you're looking as well as George Jackson's also prison letters of the 70s, where by means you're looking at political figures, right, who are inside and going through a tumultuous time inside, and by means finding, of course, a way to release. In this case, by writing, right. Okay. So you can see the backdrop there, right, in regards, of course, once again, a black man being wrongfully convicted, right, going through those torture tactics, and by means, you know what, our society needing better conditions for all inmates inside, right? Luke Cage, by means, he teams up, of course, with a ton of superheroes at some point in time. We mentioned, of course, with Iron Fist, teams up with Misty Knight, teams up as well with Black Panther at some point in time. They form a group called The Crew in some of the later issues. What? Yes. The
Crew?
The Crew, that's right.
Who's in The Crew again?
The Crew. So it is Misty Knight, Black Panther, of course, Luke Cage, and there's another gentleman. There's four of them. I forget the last gentleman's name, but by means, we got an all-black superhero crew at some point in time. Power to the people. You know what I'm saying?
Silly.
Yes, very silly. Another gentleman I think you're going to like very much is Sam Wilson, a.k.a. Falcon.
I like Falcon.
Yes.
I can't do the same thing I do for Luke Cage, but
no, but you do like Falcon.
I do like Falcon.
Yes.
I have a reason for liking him. You're gonna tell them why.
No, but you tell them why you like Falcon.
He's really smart, and what I really like about it is that he works alongside Iron Man.
Yes.
And I don't know if anyone watches the Avengers, but I love the Avengers. And the great thing is that whenever Iron Man messes up, Falcon fixes it. And that's what's incredible. What I really like about him and Black Panther is that they are both super intelligent brothers.
Yes.
I always talk about the fact that, like, in the Avengers series, Black Panther will always just disappear. And people are getting vexed. Like, where's Black Panther? We're trying to save the world. Everything's happening, and out of nowhere, Black Panther just comes and saves the day.
Yes.
He always just slides like a puss. Just slides out of somewhere and comes and saves the day. You know when a puss just disappears?
Disappears.
And you can't see them, and they just come out slide like?
Yes.
Black Panther. But again, what I like about them is that even Black Panther, him and Iron Man, I know, sometimes are at arms because they're both so intelligent.
Very.
But I'm going to have to say this. Black Panther is a lot more intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
Than Iron Man, and Iron Man hates it.
You know, of course, he's very cocky, right?
Yeah, so he hates the fact that there's a brother who's a lot smarter than he is. And Falcon is another brother who's very intelligent.
Yes. So here's his story. So originally called Sam Snap Wilson, right? That's his street name. In fact, he was a low-level street thug, a petty thief, right? Who loved birds. So he takes an assignment on some remote island, right? And the plane ends
Birdman?
up crashing.
Sorry.
Say that again.
Birdman? Sorry. Continue.
I will. Thank you. Right. So this island has Red Skull on it, as well as some of his cronies. Right. So at that time, Red Skull has this thing called the Cosmic Cube, and so what he does is he points his Cosmic Cube towards Sam. Right, and it totally changes Sam's consciousness. So Sam went from now, of course, that low-level petty thug who just loved birds to now, of course, a upright and cheerful Negro, as the language is used in the comics.
Really?
Yes, upbeat and cheerful Negro. Yes, who now can communicate telepathically
With bird?
with birds.
What?
Yes.
Birdman. I just said that.
There you go.
Okay.
Right, and in fact, his bird, a falcon, he ends up calling it Redwing. Right. In the later series, we see now Redwing, of course, is the remote control bird. You see that now in the Civil War, and as well as, of course, in the Avengers series.
Yes.
But originally, it was an actual falcon.
Okay.
Right. I'm not sure we showed any of the pictures now. However, though, originally his suit is actually a green suit.
Okay.
Right. Later on in his series, because he wants to go ahead and forge his own identity, aside from being now, of course, a sidekick of Captain America, so he changes his uniform to now red and white. He ends up having, of course, the bird comes along. Of course, there's a grapple that he has as well that he swings around from time to time. There we go at the back there.
Woohoo!
Yes, but also those wings that we see now, and of course on that cover, guess who gives him his wings? To his right or his left.
You know I can't see that.
You can't see?
Iron Man?
No.
Oh, that.
Really?
Black Panther?
There you go.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Intelligence.
There you go. Yes. So of course now he gives him his wings, a suit upgrade. Now of course now carves out his own identity, right? So of course, and later on in the series, well, throughout of course the generations of his series, he becomes the new Captain America. He meaning Sam Wilson, right? So I mean, like, it's an amazing transformation, of course, from low-level petty thug,
yeah.
right? So now, of course, the upbeat and cheerful
Chariot Negro.
There we go, right? So now, of course, you know, a superhero in his own right, right?
That was
and
my
now,
dance.
Thank you.
Just okay.
Just saying.
Yes.
Just saying, right? There's some argument there in regards to now how Sam Wilson being a black professional, because he was a social worker, right, during the comic book series, right, and how now, of course, him being now from the ghetto, right, being a black professional, right, only to have this past about him, right, where of course he's not so clean, right, and by means, of course, inheriting this past from, of course, his upbringing, right.
Okay.
We find another character, of course, that loses his parents from early, doesn't know how to deal with that, so of course he turns to crime, right? Once again,
Very
art
familiar.
imitating life.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I mean, you know what, like, it's interesting in regards to how that is infused. And then of course we have the futuristic portion, of course, our superheroes. We also have in regards to like some of the lessons that they teach us.
Can we get a couple of those? We didn't get to talk about this
This
gentleman,
gentleman?
but we're gonna get to him
In another series.
in another series. But can we just introduce him really quickly?
This right here, the lightning symbol, Black Adam, or it's sometimes known as Chem Adam. He's an ancient Egyptian in the comic book series. In fact, he's a guard in the Pharaoh's army. I don't remember exactly which Pharaoh. However, though, his story is an excellent one. Adam, once again, right? A fall of Adam, right? Which takes place because he goes off on a mission, comes back home, the Pharaoh's murdered. He himself can't handle that, so by means he goes off on a warlike monger. He wipes out, of course, the neighboring tribe who killed the pharaoh, and by means that anger sticks with him. So that fall from grace, in a sense.
Okay.
Right? So it's an interesting story. By means, of course, Black Adam, Chem Adam. I believe there may be a movie coming out. The Rock right now is slated to play Black Adam.
There's a cartoon.
There is a cartoon?
Shazam.
Well, that's okay. Shazam is the saying that the word that he uses to transform his power.
Okay.
Don't want to give it away as of yet because we are gonna, of course, return back to this character.
I know.
But those words, Shazam, each letter in that word, right, is a member of an Egyptian god or Kemetic deity.
Okay.
So, like S would be now Shu, god
Okay.
of air, that generates his power, right? And right, of course, among other ones. And once again, I don't want to spoil it now, but mine will.
H. Ha. 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 I'm done.
Okay.
I tried.
I know.
I tried.
Right. By means, there are many other characters we didn't get into as of yet. Misty Knight, who teams up, of course, with Luke Cage. Cloak and Dagger, which is another one, which is an interesting.
They're interesting.
Yes.
Cloak and Dagger. Hopefully we get to get to them.
We'll definitely revisit them, and of course, in another segment. But by means, I wanted to end with a quote by, of course, super black, the gentleman here, Adelifu Nama.
Yes.
Right. At the end of the book, he quotes here that in the final analysis, black superheroes have, in various instances, served not only as a bridge to link blackness and futurism, they have also provided an escape from conventional representations of black racial identity. Black superheroes have offered a galactic vision of blackness, often as Afro-diasporic or diasporic figures that fuse the shiny tomorrowland of time travel, interdimensional realities, rocket ships, black mysticism, extraterrestrial beings, light speed, experimental technoculture, which is a very
whole heap of words.
Yes, and cybertronic robots with the self-esteem politics of black is beautiful. In doing so, black superheroes offer some of the most stimulating and ideological, provocative representations of blackness ever imagined.
This man can write. Wow.
It is a mouthful, but in a nutshell, it does break down, of course, our characters which we visited, and of course some of the other ones which we will visit as well, like Brother Voodoo, who later becomes Dr. Voodoo.
Okay, stop. You can't give me too much away. Stop. Don't give too much away.
But
we
by
have
means,
to stop. We have
you
to
understand,
stop.
right?
I understand.
These are characters by means that need to get revisited by our own people. Their stories need to be told by our people, right? So that way we can now feel very proud that, of course, we have representations of ourselves.
I would love for everyone, please comment, please like this video, please share this video. If this was of any interest, we'd love to hear from you. We'd like to thank you again for viewing us. Thank you, Master Teacher Dave.
Not a master,
just
but by
take
means.
it now.
From you, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing with us what you have.
Thank you.
We are going to be revisiting this topic again. Everyone have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you again for watching us here on
Peace
Here
and
to
love,
Help
family.
You.